So remembering that delighting yourself is meaning that you take great pleasure in something. So we're going to take great pleasure in the Lord, because we can take great pleasure here because he's everything that we need. All right, and he's going to give us those desires of our hearts. All right, so let's go ahead and move into our next stanza, lines 5 and 6. Commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your justice as the noonday. So now remember, he's giving it to us in chunks. All right, so commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him, and those things. And then once we do those two things, then God is going to do something for us. Okay, so commit your way to the Lord. That's an imperative command. And so, and it gives us a reference scripture to Psalm 55:22 that says, cast your burden on the Lord, and he shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. So he will never permit the righteous to be shaken. That's not going to happen. And sometimes it feels like our foundation may be crumbling. All right, but we won't be moved. And we're going to go through those times where we feel like, man, is it really worth it? Of course it is. It always is whenever we're committing ourselves to the Lord. It's not in vain. Trust me. No, trust him. Okay, so it says, commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him. All right. So when we commit ourselves, that means that's like literally roll off unto, like, it's like, and you laying all your weight on the Lord. Okay. And that's what you have to do. Just, I'm all in. I'm all in. Complete surrender. And it says, and he shall bring it to pass. 6, he shall bring forth your righteousness as the light. And so it gives us a reference scripture back to Job 11. Job and Psalm go hand in hand. They're like cousins. All right. Job 11:17. And remember, we are reading from the New King James Version. Just want to make sure I share that, because what I'm reading may be different from what you have, but mine is New King James Version. All right, so Job 11:17 says, and your life will be brighter than the noonday. Though you were dark, you would be like the morning. And we really would. And then that gives us a reference scripture to Isaiah 58:8 and 10. Isaiah 58:8 and 10. And so you notice Isaiah 2 is another one. It's another one that we always run into from Psalms. Isaiah 58:8, which says, then your light shall break forth like the morning. Your healing shall spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. And then 10 says, if you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. So, or your gloom as a new day. And so what he's saying is that when we consider other people, not really considering ourselves and stuff like that, God is going to take care of us. All right. And that's part of bringing forth our righteousness. You know, righteousness is uprightness before God. And it pleases God when we help those who are in need. All right. And then, so we'll go ahead and read line 7 and 8, and then we'll elaborate it on in the next segment. It says, rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who brings wicked schemes to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret. It only causes harm. All right, so we're going to come back and we'll talk about that, and then we'll move into our next segment after that. Okay?